Welcome back, boys and some girls. All of the following information comes from me who never played ranked. Everything you see is from normal matches, so take this with a grain of salt. With that being said, I don't really know how Nando is supposed to be played, but I have two ways that I play Nando, and they work quite differently, and they're very fun, both of them. And one of them is focused on being the tank, helping your allies, and just basically being a wall, not letting the enemy team pass you. And the other one is more like an aggressive one, very selfish, aggressive, and it mostly played whenever you have no healer or you have a second tank that wants to be a point tank. And again, it's mostly normal stuff, so people insta-lock stuff and things like that. So it's a build that you can enjoy and have fun with. First build we're gonna start is the You Shall Not Pass, or basically the tank build. It focuses, as I said, on how much you can survive, how much you can enjoy your shield. Just look at this, okay? First, we're gonna start with some movement. It's not the most important skill for the kit, but we're gonna start from left to right. That's the most logical way to do it. Reducing your cooldown for every damage you take, for every 1000 damage you take for your shield. It's just an easy skill, make you be able to move much faster, defend your support when needed. I'm going to explain, you will see it in the gameplay, I will show you in a bit. We have the increasing regeneration rate. This is a must, it has to be over. This is why it's level 5, and just having this card up and using your shield as much as possible is gonna be much better later on, because barrier or shield for this is easier to recharge or recover than healing. Healing, you have cauterize and it's hard to heal you later on in the game, but shield is basically the same. Yes, they can have wreckers, but I'm gonna get into counters later on. Cavalier, more health, as I said, and immovable object. We want more HP to be able to heal you easier. And last stand is obviously the last stand when you're alone on the objective. You can just have your shield, keep running around, just moving, having your front to the enemy. It can save you a few more seconds that you won't die and be able to live a bit more until your team arrive, or until you, I don't know, kill the enemy. Something happens, it definitely helps you. It's an easy card to have at one point. Now that we finished talking about the cards, I'm gonna speak a bit about how this build works and its features, basically how it actually works. So it is more of a passive build. You're mostly gonna be around the 40 to 50% mark of the map, so take the halfway of the map a bit closer to home, because this is a build where you need to rely on your teammates. It is a build where you take a bit of more passive role and you just be basically utility. You look right, you look left, you make sure everything is okay, no enemies are flanking. When people are flanking, you ping. People are going to be busy with killing, fighting, dealing damage, stuff like that. You need to look all around. Somebody comes behind you, you can use your dash to go backwards, and then use your shield, defend from the flanker. Your shield is going to take damage, and then your charge is going to come back. Then you can use, after you obviously dealt with the flanker, you can use your charge to go back to the objective. And this is basically how you can just move faster as Nando, because he's very slow. So you can just move from the objective to the objective, just keep being a bit more mobile to be able to save your support, because if your support dies or your backline damage dealer dies, it's gonna be a nightmare. Also, this build is very good if you have a Victor or a Tyra. You basically just stand still, open your shield, and just let them have fun. They don't even need to move, they can just stand behind you. Obviously you need to be careful of flankers, but they just stand behind you and just keep shooting, dealing damage, and nobody can touch them. And if you can get them to be on voice chat, and you can tell them, hey, my shield is about to run out, be careful, then you can even be a bit more, teamwork. You can make more teamwork, and you can make it even more fun. Now we get into the downsides of this build. This build needs a decent team. If your team sucks, they don't know what they're doing, just keep running around or going to the objective, they keep dying, this build is not gonna work. It simply don't. Because if your flanker, let's say, cannot support, cannot defend, I don't mean support like healing, I mean support as in help you protect from invading characters or invading players from the sides, then it's not gonna work as well, because you need to be very, very good with your support. It's probably gonna be you, your support, and 1 damage. You're gonna be the 3 of you, like the whole match basically. If you can protect them, you have like you, the tank, support, and a damage, and you're like a unit on your own, and then the 2 other players can do whatever they want. Basically, you play around your objectives, and that's it. And this is also leading me to the counters for this play. The easiest counter for this, to counter this build, is simply having a good enemy flanker or a lot of wreckers on the enemy team. Let's say they have a Strix, they have Tyra, they have Victor, stuff like that. And then your shield is gonna run out pretty fast, like it's gonna be drained in seconds. Maybe even a tank ruckus or something like this, your shield is just gonna go vroom. So this is an easy way to counter this. But if you have this, then we can go into my second build. My second build I call 360 no scope, for the very easy reason all this build is focusing on your Q, just your fireball and just charging. It's so much fun when you get into the flow with this move. You just keep juggling enemies around, hitting so many stuff. It's so much fun, and you can have a lot of fun in the backline of the enemy. And since you're a tank, it's gonna take them a long time to kill you. So first card is Brand, because especially if you're gonna play this as a flank, then you can get some HP back by just hitting like an enemy with fireball. And as you hit more enemies, it deals more damage. So you deal more damage, more enemies hit, you get more HP. Obviously 300 per enemy hit. It doesn't mean that if you do 100 more damage, then you're gonna get 100 more HP. That's not what it means. It's 300 flat. So try to hit the fireballs whenever nobody is looking at you, when Cauterize is not like right now affecting you. So it's gonna be easier to heal yourself. Next card is gonna be the cooldown for charge for each enemy hit by fireball. This is those 2 cards, the ones this looks that kill and incinerate. Those 2 cards just make this kit so much fun, because you could just go like Q, charging an enemy. If you charge more than like 1 or 2 enemies, then you have your Q up, you use the Q again, you use the Q, then you can use your charge, and all while you do that, you also deal knockback to the enemies, you can see here, and you gain health shields every time you do it. So if you can get it rolling, you can just be a nightmare to the enemy team. Especially if you have like an OK team. Your team doesn't have to be good, but if you have an OK team and they keep like some of the team on the objective, you can just destroy the back line. It's just going to be a nightmare for the flanker, because you basically play flanker, but it does require you to have a tank. And if you don't have like a point tank, you can be the point tank, but obviously you can be less aggressive because you have to stay closer to the objective and actually capture it. And now that we're finished with the cards, I'll tell you about the features for this build. As I said at the start, this is a very aggressive and selfish build. You don't care about your team, you just want to have fun, deal damage, just mess with enemies. And it is a great flanker / light tanker, because you're more mobile, you have a lot of charges, a lot of charges. You can just keep going back and forth. You do so much damage with your Q, and then even if you hit more enemies, it deals more damage. You can just 1 or 2 shot, even if you use like your flamethrower in the middle, you can just again do so much damage. It's so much fun. I had so many games where I did more damage than the actual damage in my team, even though they didn't suck, they were okay. It's just that's much fun. Thanks to the healing card, and if you get even meditation, you can really play this as a flanker. Just go around harassing the enemy team. And if you don't have a good team, then you can maybe save the game using this, because the enemy team is going to be focusing more on you, because people tend to get annoyed when you like focus them, or when something happens like a flanker keeps coming for them. People tend to get annoyed and tilted, and then they start throwing the game and going straight for you. Because you're a tank, it's harder to kill you, and if you know how to play, then it's even harder, and then you can actually save your game this way. The only real counter I found for this game is if all the enemy team actually comes for you, like 5 guys, 4 guys coming for you, then you're gonna die. There is no champion that can like 1v5 if the players are kind of equal. Obviously, if they're worse than you, then yes, you can 1v5, have those kind of games. But it has to be a very specific game where the enemy team is way worse than you. But if we're talking equal, then just being focused, yeah, you're gonna lose. But that's about it, yeah. 2 ways I pay Nando, which is I think my highest level. I think it's my highest level champion, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is pretty fun. Yeah, but that's it. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, thank you. If you didn't, well, you could let me know why you didn't like it. Keep it safe. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.